Bessie, you might already be aware of this, but I am your soon-to-be husband's mother, and I'm here to have a word with you. And the word I plan to have with you today is regarding you wanting to become a wife in my family, aiming for the wealth we have. And after giving your plans good thought, I've come to decide that I no longer want you marrying my son. So please, leave my son alone as you go off and find a new man that is much more your style.
Huh? This is Kathy then, right? Andy's mother?
Yes, that is right. I'm sure you remember that time you came over to our house. You and I exchanged phone numbers in case we ever needed to contact one another.
Yeah, I do have memories of that. You do know that today is the day of our wedding, and you're asking me to leave your son, my fiance, right? Can you tell me what the problem is?
And just as I said, I'm well aware that you plan to become a wife in my family, with the sole purpose of getting your hands on our wealth.
You think that I'm after your guy's wealth?
I assume that due to your past of having a poor education, the only way to get this information across to you is by telling you straight. And you having come from a foster home means that you will cause a lot of embarrassment if you become a part of my high-class family. Hence the reason why I'm asking you to stop bothering my son with marriage. That's what this is all about. Do you understand now? Because not only is this something I want from you, but something that even Andy wants.
But you are aware that we have our wedding today, right? I haven't been trying to hide my past from you in any way either. And I'm not hiding any secret goals of mine either. I'm not saying that I'm okay with what you're asking from me right now either. But if you all really feel that way about me, please tell me this a lot sooner.
You acting as though you deserve to be told this any sooner is yet another reason we don't want you in our family. It's a clear result of your lack of any decent parenting when you were younger. If you really feel as though you deserve to know how we feel about you sooner than the day of your wedding, then maybe you should have been apologizing to us from the start. We've been waiting for a while now to hear you say sorry to all of us.
You've been waiting to hear an apology from me?
Up until today, we expected you'd be coming to us with an apology about how you are low class and were raised in a foster home, and you should have followed that with a thank you for allowing you to come into our family. And, after your thanks, told us that we are free to treat you as strictly as possible to keep you in line and turn you into a respectable wife. Had you done all of that, we wouldn't have had to tell you our true feelings on the day of your wedding. But of course, you never did do any of that. Well, it's too late for any of that now, Bessie, as I no longer want to think about your dirty blood mixing in with the perfect blood of my family.
I see. Well then, what should I be telling all the people that plan to show up to our wedding today?
We've already begun telling all of our friends and family that the wedding has been cancelled, and that you will no longer be marrying my son. So all you have to do is tell your family and friends about the news.
I'm already at the church right now, though.
Then you can tell them as they show up today for your wedding.
I see. Then I guess I have no other choice now but to do that.
Oh, it's not like that'll be a tough task for you, though, as we are all well aware you have no family, and barely any friends worth inviting, so you won't have to tell many people to go home. Oh, your lack of any good family or friends is yet another point that proves you were raised poorly. My.
Connor, are you already on your way to the church? Well, unfortunately, the wedding has been cancelled, so I'd like you to start heading back home if you're already on your way.
What? Bessie? I was just talking with my CEO about how your fiance called off the wedding with you and even the marriage, but I didn't want to believe him.
I was told that because I was raised in a foster home, they don't want me as part of their family.
Huh?
Right now, I've been talking with Andy about it. But he told me that whatever his parents decide regarding him, he cannot fight back against them.
Why the hell would he say that?
I understand that you're going to start getting upset over all this, but one thing's for sure, and that's that the wedding is canceled. I'm sorry to have to tell you this right now, but can you start helping me tell the others about the tragic news? I'm already at the church now, so anyone that doesn't get the message in time and shows up will be told by me at the front doors.
Alright. Bessie, are you alright?
I'm fine, Connor. Thanks for asking, though. Actually, after telling everyone that the wedding wasn't happening, I had a lot of things to take care of at the church, and didn't have any time to dwell on the cold truth.
Well, to think that you didn't have time to think about what had happened must be pretty nice for you, but the timing for all of that was very poor, and a lot of people were upset to hear last minute that your wedding was canceled and that their time was wasted. However, they were glad to hear all of that before getting in their cars and making the drive out, and I'm sure that you rushing to tell them all after such sad news was keeping your mind off a lot of things. But I know that deep down this all hurts a lot, and you're just trying to hide the pain now. You're that type of person after all.
Connor.
When you tell me things are fine after something like this, I know that things are actually not fine at all. But listen, even though his mom told you that the wedding was canceled today, and that she doesn't want you marrying her son, Andy still hasn't said he doesn't love you anymore, nor that he doesn't want to be with you. I'm sure he's not there with you now supporting you through this, so I'll come to you right away. You shouldn't have to be alone after your special day was ruined. So I'll be there soon and we can start talking about what'll happen next together.
All right. Thank you.
Bessie, now that you are past having the wedding cancelled, there was one important thing I forgot to mention. The reason behind this whole unfortunate event ever happening in the first place is in fact due to you being a disgraceful foster child, and therefore you'll need to pay my son a settlement for wasting his time.
I'm the one that'll have to pay a settlement?
And of course, you'll have to pay the 100% cancellation fee for the wedding since it was cancelled on the day of.
You guys were the ones that asked me to leave your son last minute. And because of that, I don't feel that I'm the one who'll need to pay anything.
Oh, so you're still going to try and fight this?
I'm not going to fight you guys on anything. I'm just telling the truth.
You really were raised with no support from any parent. It's made apparent by your lack of manners and lack of common sense. Do you understand me, though, Bessie? I'm just trying to let you know what's going to happen so that you can prepare. And there's one more thing I want to tell you about so you don't have any more incidents like today. In a society like ours, you being on the bottom rung of the ladder means you cannot fight back against what us higher class say. You being low class means that you need to try harder to be a something in this society. And that means you have to stop going after people like my family.
What do you mean by that?
I'm saying that you are nothing more than a slave to us high-class people. I shouldn't have to be explaining any of this to you in such long-winded sentences, but you did end up never having any decent education, nor any parents to teach you how to be a respectable human.
Then, let me ask you one thing before we end this conversation. If me being raised in a foster home means that I'm low class, does that mean the same for my brother, who was also raised in a foster home?
You should already know the answer to that. Oh my, it is so difficult having to talk to someone who was never properly raised by parents. I'm beginning to tire out.
Is that so? Then I suppose I'll have to pay that settlement to you guys as well as pay off the cancellation fee to the wedding organizers.
Huh? You will? I thought you'd try to fight back harder, but instead you're acting like a respectable adult now.
I'm sorry for cutting into this conversation uninvited, but I had no choice. My name is Connor, and I'm Bessie's older brother. I never wanted to see someone talk to my sister the way you have been. And that's why after watching it go on for a few minutes, I had to take her phone from her and step in. And to try and help you understand that I'm now holding the phone, I tried surprising you by saying that I would pay the money you're asking for, as I know she never would. Sorry for being here without asking prior. From now on, I'll be the one continuing this conversation, and feel free to keep calling me Connor.
Well, even though you have stepped in to take care of business for her, it doesn't change the fact that she's a mannerless and stupid woman. And actually, you're even worse than her, considering you never bothered to come and see her fiance's parents before the wedding to introduce yourself as her brother.
I'm sure that my sister did tell you for a while that I was overseas for work and could not be here to meet you all. Of course, if you guys had all made it clear that I needed to introduce myself before she could marry your son, I would have made an effort to come back. However, you guys would have become aware that I'm not from the same family as Bessie, and that would mean you all most likely never think of me as a brother, therefore making it meaningless for me to come see you all. I was already told by Bessie that you made it clear that you had no interest in anyone that wasn't related to her by blood.
Well, even if you guys see one another as brother and sister, without being related by blood, that is only due to you being a foster child yourself, and both growing up in that horrible foster home. That makes both of you low-class freaks in this society, and you being around to introduce yourself to us would only have made things worse. So I suppose it is a good thing you stayed away.
Now, as far as your husband and your son Andy, could you please go and tell them that I'll be the one to pay for the wedding being canceled and for the settlement?
Why should I have to be the one to tell them? They don't need to know who you are. They need to think the money is all coming from Bessie. Just pay in her name and we can put everything behind us and go our separate ways.
Well, the reason I want you to tell them that I'll be paying is none of your concern, Kathy.
Huh?
If you could just go and tell them that I'll be paying, you'll be able to find out all you need to know. And as for what happens after you tell them about me, you will only be talking to me about it. So please leave my sister out of your mess.
Connor! If you're getting this message right now, Bessie, can you please get your brother and have him reply to me?
Did your husband and son's reaction to the news finally open your eyes a little?
I'm so very sorry for what I've done earlier.
I never expected to be getting an apology from you so soon.
Well, after they told me, I had no other choice but to apologize to you right away. Who would have expected that? Who would have ever known that you'd be one of the sons of that very highly distinguished family that runs the company that works with my husband's company? In other words, the family that you were adopted into. They're the ones that run Frazier & Sons LLC and have all of that money?
Yes, they are my family. And as for the wedding between my sister and your son, my father was invited to it by your husband and son to be there, as he is one of their greatest customers. And of course, I was going to be there as well with my father, as my sister had invited me to be there on her very special day. And to keep a lot of this information private, the only one that ever knew about me being the adopted son of the CEO of Frazier & Sons LLC, my sister and I only told Andy and no one else.
Huh? My son... he knew about all of this?
Yep. And that's why, when you and your husband said that you wanted him to call things off with Bessie and cancel the wedding as well, your son was pretty upset, right?
Now that you mention it... When he was about to open his mouth to tell me something, I assumed it would be nothing important to my husband or I. And so I scolded him and said that he could not fight us on our decision. Actually, ever since we told him to leave Bessie and cancel his wedding, he's been locked up in his room, not speaking to any of us.
Is that so? And?
Huh?
When adding up both the settlement you'd like to ask for and the cancellation fees for the wedding, how much does it come out to?
That doesn't mean anything right now. If anything, we're going to be the ones paying for the cancellation fee as well as a settlement to your sister. We'll make sure that she gets the money she asked for, and that she's aware that we'll be handling all the costs. Please understand that.
Understood then. Then after today, I'd like for you all to continue talks about the settlement with a lawyer of mine, and you guys can discuss in detail what amount needs to be paid. And as for anything you'd like to say to my sister or I in the future, please go through my lawyer with what you have to say, and he'll relay the message.
Okay.
Also, as for the phone number of my sister that you currently have, I'd like you to delete it for me.
Understood.
Bessie, have you been able to get all the money from the settlement?
I think it's all in my bank account now, Connor. So this should mean everything is pretty much done with, right?
I believe so. I also heard that you and Andy were on the phone with each other recently, right?
Yeah. We both talked about how we don't see either of us being able to get back together now, but we made it clear that neither one of us holds any hard feelings toward the other.
Did he end up saying anything else?
Well, he told me that he's going to start working on breaking away from his parents, and also that after his father retires from the position of CEO, he wouldn't be taking the seat. He then ended our conversation by saying that the whole reason all of this happened between us is because he wasn't strong enough to fight his parents on the way they thought of me, and just sat there scared and weak. It looks to me like he wants to change the person he is, and wants to make himself a stronger man who isn't a puppet of his parents.
I'm still not 100% convinced that a person like him will be able to totally break free of his parents. But if he wants to become a stronger man after this, I have nothing else to say about him.
By the way, about his father, I hear that he's planning to retire now, and will be giving his position as the CEO to someone else soon?
That's right. Andy's dad said that he's not going to give the position to anyone in the family, though, as to preserve that his company be about the company itself, and not about making his family rich. So, he's making someone from outside the company the next CEO, so that there will be new ideas brought into it. And as for after that, I think Andy's dad is only going to be taking half the money he should be receiving in his retirement, and will move out to the countryside.
I see.
But of course, his wife Kathy isn't too happy about what he's doing. She's told him that if he's not willing to keep the company in the family, she's going to divorce him. Actually, she's already handed in the divorce paperwork and is on a plane right now headed back to her hometown.
Uh-huh. So that means...
That's right. That whole family is no longer part of that company, and that spells the end to their wealth flowing in anymore. But I think that Andy's father is happy with the way he left his wife after what she'd done.
Just as my brother had told me, Kathy's husband ended up leaving his company in the hands of someone who wasn't their family and left town to move into the country. Because of that, Kathy divorced her husband and moved back to her hometown. But after only ever being a housewife to her husband from the start, and not having any work experience of her own in the current world, she had a hard time finding a job for herself. And the money she received in the divorce was only enough to carry her so far without having a job. And now she continues to whine and cry about what happened to her once high-class family. At one point, she even tried to get her son to come back to her and support her, but Andy only replied by saying that he himself was without a job. Well, that was all going on months ago, and these days, Kathy is doing a bit better, as she's found herself work in a hotel in her hometown, getting paid minimum wage for her work. She had always dreamed of being a rich woman who didn't have to do anything besides stay married to her CEO husband, but after letting that image of herself rule her, she made a huge mistake, and paid for it by losing everything. At the age she's at now, I don't expect she'll ever have a chance of going back to a life like that again. But I'd say she was never meant to be a part of the high class, as only those with manners and a proper education belong up there, and Kathy does not have either of those things. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Eliza? I'm coming back home right now.
Huh? Today you went out with your friends from back in high school to get some drinks, right?
That was the plan.
Then why are you coming home already? It's only 7 p.m. right now.
I left right in the middle of drinks, though.
What? Why would you leave your friends like that?
I was thinking that it was just men going out to have some drinks, but then they brought along some female friends of theirs. In total, there were equal amounts men to women.
Okay, and?
When I finally realized what was going on there, I noticed they were all trying to hook up and also find someone they could marry.
Is that what was going on?
They told me that it would only be us going out for drinks tonight, but they lied to me in order to get enough men together to meet with those women.
Really? So what ended up happening before you left?
Well, I told them that I couldn't stick around with them, but as I tried to leave the bar to go home, one of my friends wrapped his arm around my shoulder and kept me around a little longer. But I'm married now, so I can't be doing something like that. I also happen to be a lawyer, so being a part of something crazy is not in my books.
Oh, well, I'm glad you made that clear. Maybe some of your friends didn't realize you were married already, because those kinds of things are only meant for single people who want to get married and whatnot, right?
That's right. I feel kinda bad for leaving all my friends like that, but I made a break for it after introducing myself to their lady friends.
How were you able to get away?
After telling them who I was, I told them that I had been set up by the other guys, and that I had no reason for being at that event because I already have a wife. I then explained to everyone that I'm a lawyer now, so being a part of something that could be seen as me being unfaithful was not okay and that I needed to go home. I finished by saying that I would not be talking to any more of the women there and that they would only be talking with my friends tonight. And right before I left out the door, I told each and every one of the people there to please not call or text me if they already had my number because I would not be responding back. And then I was out of there.
Wow. At least you were being very frank about your situation.
Well, I wanted everyone there to understand that I am married and that I was not there looking for someone new to marry. However, there was one person.
Someone that didn't understand what you meant?
Yes, someone who I'd have to say was completely out of her mind. The only thing she heard out of that whole explanation was that I'm a lawyer. And so on my way out of there, she came up to me and tried to get me to cuddle with her. But when I told her to go away, she ran off with the rest of her friends to the women's bathroom.
They all went together? They were most likely talking about ways to get you to fall for her.
I'm sure. But once they all went into that bathroom, I was out. And here I am, walking home from that place and never going back.
I hope that didn't burn you out too much.
Not too much. There's something I need to ask. I know that it's past dinner, but do you mind making something up for me to eat when I get home? It could be something simple and easy. If not, that's totally fine. I can throw something into the microwave and eat that.
You didn't eat anything at the bar while you were there?
Well, after what I just had to go through, there was no time for me to think about eating. Especially after that crazy girl tried to take me with her.
Fair point. Well, I'm glad you didn't end up falling into her arms then. I can make you a bowl of mac and cheese if you'd like. I have one box of that left in the pantry, so it shouldn't take me too long to make up.
That would be perfect, Eliza.
All right. Have a safe trip home now.
Thank you.
Elisa, it's been 5 years now since we last talked. I'm sure you're still as ugly as always, but how are you doing besides that? I was wondering what was causing my phone to buzz like that at this time of night. Lo and behold, it's you. That rotten little brat that thinks she can talk to me again after the way she's always treated me, my little sister. Huh? How dare you say something like that about a beauty like myself? If you were really as beautiful as you think you are, then you wouldn't be calling yourself a beauty like that. But it's no lie that I'm one of the most beautiful people around. Anyway, what did you want from me? What? All right, goodbye then. Wait! It's been 5 years now since you and I have last chatted, and you were the one texting me first, so you must have had something to talk about, right? Oh, that's right. I was so caught up in the fact that you are the ugliest woman imaginable that I totally forgot when I first started texting you again. What do you want? I'm going to be getting married here very soon. Married? I just changed rides to a handsome lawyer. Changed rides? So that means you had another boyfriend just before? You could say that. I'm very sexy, so there are an abundance of men for me to be with. I don't think there's been a day where I haven't had a man, actually. Is that so? I had been with my other boyfriend for about 3 months, and he's been working for a company making loads of money, so I'd planned on getting married to him. However, just the other day, I went to this dating party at a bar, and there I found myself the perfect man for myself, who just so happens to be hot and a stinking lawyer. I ran right up to him, trying to get him to come and cuddle with me, and from the way he reacted, I could tell he was into me. So from here, I'll be getting into the good stuff. You still have more to say? Normally, when I break up with my exes, I go ahead and introduce them to some of my other good-looking friends so that they may start dating. However, all my sexy-looking friends have boyfriends now, so I thought I'd be kind and make it your turn this time. So I'll be giving little old ugly you my boyfriend, and you can do what you want with him. And since he was dating me, consider this your one and only chance to be with someone who doesn't look like dog crap. Huh? You don't have to say no to me. I already know you are very happy to hear this from me since you've never had yourself a boyfriend before, and you're just getting up there in age to the point you might even hit menopause soon. I don't want him. What? I didn't want to tell you this because you're such a pain in the ass, but I'll have to tell you now. I'm already married. Huh? There we go. This conversation is over with now. I know you have nothing else to tell me, so goodbye. Huh? My uglier-than-crap older sister is married? And before a beauty like me? What a dang lie that is. Rio, my name is Alicia.
What? You're Alicia? Oh, God.
That's right. I'm the one you were with at that party a little while back.
I never told you my phone number, though.
When I asked one of your old friends from high school about you, he gave me your phone number. He also told me about the law firm you're currently working at.
Seriously, what the hell does that asshole think he's doing?
Well, that's why I'm able to talk with you right now. How about you and I go on a date?
What? Hell no, why would I go on a date with you?
Well, because you and I are boyfriend and girlfriend now.
Huh?
So that means later tonight, let's you and me find a cute hotel to go stay at and go from being two different people to one.
No freaking way I'm doing that. How about you stop talking to me and I delete this conversation?
I'm not joking around right now. I want to take you to a hotel tonight to make love.
Well, I don't want to have anything to do with you, and I don't ever remember you and I becoming a couple like you're saying.
You don't have to keep trying to play games with me like that, you know.
When I introduced myself to all of you that night, I told you that I'm married, right? I was lied to and told that I'd just be meeting up with some of my friends that night when it was really some sort of a dating party, hookup party, speed dating party, whatever the heck it was. I don't want anyone right now because I already have a wife who I love.
Oh, come on now, Rio. That little marriage of yours can easily be broken in order for you and I to become one.
Shut the hell up! I do not want a damn thing to do with you.
You'll be getting out of work here soon, right? I'm at the restaurant right next door to the law firm waiting for you, okay?
I'm not at the law firm today, so thank God for that.
What?
I'm about to arrive at my house right now where my wife is.
Wait, Rio?
See ya. This is not good. This is screwed up.
Rio? What's going on? What's happened? Did something happen to you today at work?
That crazy girl I was talking to you about before from that party, she just started texting me.
What?
She even found out about where I work. My stupid friend from back in high school told her everything about me, like my number and my workplace.
What?
I thought I made it so clear that night that I'm a married man. Maybe she just doesn't understand what that means?
Just in case, can I ask what her name is?
She said her name is Alicia.
Alicia? Oh,
Do you know her?
boy. As long as she's not someone else that shares the same name, she's my little sister.
What? Is she the one you've told me about before? The one who's always whoring around with different men and thinks she's the cream of the crop when it comes to being beautiful, but is really just a bother for everyone? She also happens to hate you a lot, and when your parents got a divorce, she took that chance to run off and never really come back?
That's her.
No freaking way. Now that I think about it, she seems just like the little sister you told me about. It's just been so long since you told me about her and her name that I totally forgot.
Actually, yesterday I was texted by her for the first time in 5 years. She was talking about how at a recent party at this bar she met a really handsome lawyer and said that he was really into her.
Huh? If she's talking about me, I told her to screw off before I left.
Did she say that you were just trying to be cool?
She did.
Knowing her, she lives in some kind of a fantasy land where everything she wants to happen happens, even if it's not reality.
So she's delusional, is what you're saying? As a lawyer, I've seen all kinds of people in my life, but nobody as screwed in the head as she is.
You're almost home now, aren't you? So, you want me to come to you and we can go out and get a drink?
That would be awesome.
Hey, Alyssa! I'd like to send my ex over to your house now, so could you please give me your address? You're still thinking about that? I told you already that I'm married. All right now, Lisa. I am asking you to please take this guy off my hands for me. It seems that I was his first ever girlfriend, and he keeps saying that if we break up now, he's going to have to start all over again looking for a partner, and he doesn't know if he can do it. He keeps saying that to me over and over and won't just leave me alone. I've already started going out with my lawyer boyfriend now, so if this guy continues to bother me by not leaving my side, I'm going to have to commit some crimes or something. That's why I have told him today that I promised to introduce him to my older sister. Listen, Alicia, that lawyer boyfriend that you keep talking about? Oh, him! His name is Rio, by the way. Stop calling my husband your dang boyfriend, all right? What? Rio, he's at a loss for words right now because of how much you've bothered him so far. He told you once already to screw off, yet you continue to call him your boyfriend. Huh? And when he found out that you'd been sitting at a restaurant right next to the place he works at, he told me all about you, and now we're heading out to relax a little. What? I heard that Rio was married from some other people, but his wife just so happens to be you? That's right. Before I got married to Rio, he and I were working for the same office. In other words, our love started to happen inside the workplace. Huh? You're going to start lying to me again? There's no way in hell an ugly old hag like you would ever be married when you've never even had a boyfriend in your life before. Huh? That's the picture of Rio and I at our wedding 2 years ago. If you still don't want to believe what I'm saying, then try talking to one of your other family members for once and asking them about this. They all know that I got married to Rio because they were all there at my wedding. No way. That's not good for me. Not good for you? How so? I just told you about my ex, right? He told me that he will not leave me unless I introduce him to my sister. Can't you just introduce him to some random girl and say she's your sister? I can't. He doesn't want things to totally end between us, so he's saying the only way he'll leave me alone is if I can get him with one of my family members. He said as long as he became a part of my family, he'd leave me. From what it sounds like to me, he's still in love with you and would still want to be with you even after getting married to someone else. And it almost seems like you feel the same way about him. I don't care what you think about this. I just want him gone for the time being. That's why I told him that I'd introduce him to you. But now I've had to hear that you and Rio are married. This is the worst thing that could ever be happening to me. Are you not able to just marry that man you're with now? What? Oh, great point. He might not be a lawyer like Rio is, but he's still making some great money. And he is madly in love with me, to the point I know he'd never stop spoiling me. All right, I'll marry him then. Now that I have my new plan, I'm going to take him with me and hand in our marriage forms at the courthouse. Bye-bye. Jesus. Alyssa, please help me. Alicia? What is it now? I got back with that ex of mine and married him. I thought that he was still decently wealthy, but when I got home with him, I found out that he is terrible at saving money and spends it all the time. He just asked me to start helping him pay off some of his debt because he found out that I work at a strip club. He said that if I don't help him, he's going to divorce me for never telling him about my line of work. Don't tell me. You would like to get my husband's help with your situation because he's a lawyer? No, because that would require me to spend some money. That's why I'm asking for you to help me. Huh? You worked at the same office as him before, which means you have to know a thing or two about being a lawyer, right? Oh, and since you are my older sister, I'd like you to not charge me for the help. I was nothing more than a secretary there. I could never help you out with any legal troubles you're in now. What? I am really fed up with your crap, Alicia. Alyssa? If you ever turn up around my husband or I, we're calling the police. The police? Don't ever talk to us again. I had a lot that I wanted to say to that little idiot, but because of the risk associated with talking to her any longer, I just went the other direction and cut ties. She tried to call me again and again the next day, from sunrise until sunset, so I finally did what I should have done so long ago and blocked her. And it was not just me who blocked her, but Rio as well, and the rest of my family who didn't want anything to do with her either. After that, Rio and I got back to the lives we were living before my sister came crashing into it, and we are so happy things didn't end up worse because of her. As for the man that Alicia ended up marrying, things started to become more and more clear about him. Not only was he in a lot of debt, but he hadn't been paying the rent on the place those two were living for months. He also had a serious problem with cleaning up after himself and would always make Alicia do it for him, to the point where he'd even throw his trash at her to take care of. And not even another month had passed before the police finally showed up at their door, asking both him and Alicia to leave the apartment and pay off all the rent that was due on the place, as they were both being evicted. Neither one of them could pay, so they were both forced to take out yet another loan and use that to pay the landlord before they were both told to leave the premise for good. This left the both of them with nowhere else to go, as all of Alicia's family had blocked her, and her friends would not let her come stay with them. So her husband made the final call and told her that they'd need to move back home to his parents' house and live with them until they could pay off all of his debt. He tried to ask his parents after moving in to help him out, but they both told him no and said that he was responsible for his own financial issues, as they were already doing more than enough by letting him and Alicia stay with them. And not only were his parents not going to help with his debt, but Alicia started to be bullied by his mother, and he did nothing to stop his mother from attacking his wife. The life of living with zero cares at all that Alicia had took a 180 and plunged her into a life where she was not allowed to do anything anymore. And if things weren't bad enough for her already, she only started to make them worse after she completely cracked under all the stress at her husband's family home, by calling her mother-in-law ugly and telling her father-in-law to leave his wife and take her with him. But before that got anywhere, both of her in-laws sent her to the hospital thinking she'd completely lost her mind, and there the psychiatrist noted that there was something seriously wrong with her and had her admitted into the mental ward. She's been there for months now and will soon be getting divorced by her husband and will be left to her psychiatrist, who will decide what to do with her afterwards. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.